Don, when I heard about what happened to the Gaudreau brothers, it hurt my heart. Obviously, 2 young lives taken, 2 widows created, kids without dads. But they were in town to attend their sister's wedding tomorrow, and they got run over while riding a bike, and they both lost their lives. I don't even know how to articulate how I feel, Don. It's just so awful.
Imagine it. We're both fathers. We're both brothers. We're members of families, and we've had our tragedies in our life, Michael. But nothing. I can't even imagine what they're going through. In every stage, as you said, the parents, his parents, are preparing for their daughter's wedding. That was supposed to happen today, and it's probably ranking in one of the greatest days of their life. And their family is all coming to South Jersey to be reunited from different areas of the country and to celebrate this amazing day of their daughter getting married. And it goes from one of the greatest weekends of their life to the worst day of their life, instantaneously. To lose 2 sons like that at the same time, I can't even imagine going through that. I can't imagine what the parents are going through. I can't imagine what their sister's going through on a day that's supposed to be so joyous for her. I can't even imagine them getting married today or going through with any kind of a ceremony. And then I can't imagine Johnny's wife and 2 infant kids to have no dad, to become a widow like that. I just can't imagine. I've been gutted today, Michael. I did not know Johnny well, but I did meet him. I did talk to him. I was so prideful to have somebody from New Jersey excel in the National Hockey League the way that he did. So I rooted for him. I watched him. When I called a game in Calgary, I made sure I went over and talked to him in the morning skate. And he grew up in Salem County, which is a suburb of Philadelphia, so he was an Eagle fan, and his favorite player was Donovan McNabb, and we talk about that. And I would just, he's such a wonderful, wonderful kid and a wonderful player and such a gentleman. And to just have it all end like that is just, I can't imagine what that family's going through, Michael.
According to police, a driver of a Jeep Grand Cherokee hit the Gaudreaus from behind while trying to pass an SUV on the right that had moved over to make way for the 2 pedal cyclists. According to the report now, the driver is suspected of being under the influence of alcohol and has been charged with 2 counts of death by auto. The investigation is ongoing. It's unspeakable. It's unimaginable. We say this over and over and over again. I've seen the mugshot of the guy. He's not a young guy. Not that he's old.
43.
43 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're going to drink, just take an Uber. Why would you risk your life and other people? I don't want to preach. It's not for me to do. But goodness gracious, you just devastated a family. You devastated a family because you got allegedly got behind the wheel of a car after having too much to drink. And you know, we could say this till we're blue in the face, Don. I don't think it's ever going to stop, because I think once you get drunk, right, you probably don't think you're drunk because you're drunk, so you're not thinking right. And the only way I think that this could ever stop is if they installed in every car, if you're going to start the car, you have to breathe into it. That's it. Because, again, I don't think you're of the right mind when you're drunk to think, oh, I'm not right to drive, I'm going to take an Uber. You don't think you're drunk. So, just awful. Just an awful story. You get a feeling in the pit of your stomach when you go and you start to think what that family's going through at this moment right now as we speak on a sports talk show. It's just sickening to think.
Yeah, and I guess the report was he admitted to having 5-6 beers. He doesn't look like that big of a guy. So you would think, Michael, if I had 5-6 beers, I don't know if I'd be able to walk to the car, never mind drive it. But there's a self-importance, there's an arrogance to people sometimes, and it's just unbelievable to have to go through that. So whether you knew the family, knew him, hockey fan, not a hockey fan, I think everybody can really feel for what happened earlier today. When I saw it, when I woke up this morning, I was just in a daze about it happening. So, I mean, there's nothing we can really do other than just try to keep things in perspective, right? It's moments like this, Michael. Unfortunately, it fades away over time. But as you get upset about your Yankees and Mets or your Giants or Jets or about traffic on Labor Day weekend or the fact that it's supposed to rain later today, the little things that bother us and irk us and drive us crazy really puts those moments in perspective, doesn't it? Unfortunately, it does go away over time, but just as aggravated as you may be about different things today, just imagine what that family's feeling right now.
That's right. It'll never go away for that family. This is a day that will live with them forever, and it's heartbreaking. So our condolences to that family, but words don't mean anything after what happened yesterday. So we're really sorry.
Yeah.
And, we wanted to start the show because we always call the show the toy store, the candy store, where real life doesn't really pierce reality, but we also don't want to disrespect. And we just wanted to know what went on, and a member of our community who made it has his life snuffed out by a driver who had 6 beers and decided to drive.
Yeah, it was more important for him to be able to get from point A to point B than people's lives. And sometimes when these things happen, we kind of exaggerate the greatness of a player. He was great, Michael. He was an outstanding, won the Hobie Baker Award for Best College Player. Had a 115-point season his last year in Calgary, 8 years in Calgary, 6 of them he was an all-star. And the one game I remember in Calgary, it was Rangers Flames, it went into overtime. And Dave nudged me, and then he said, he goes, "Do you hear the crowd?" Because I'm calling the game, so I'm not paying attention to what's happening like on the bench. That it's 3-on-3, and he was so electric that whenever he'd leave the ice, the fans would kind of groan, and then when he'd flip that one leg over the boards to jump back into the play, the place would explode and get excited. He was so much fun to watch. He was diminutive in size. It was just a tremendous story that he was that kind of a player, and he wanted to sign with Columbus. He wanted to be a little bit closer to home, and spent 4 years there, and so he was. So it's such pride to be from Jersey. New Jersey's had some really nice hockey players, but nobody like this. And it was just a tremendous amount of pride to be from New Jersey, to watch him play, watch him grow into becoming a superstar player. And just so tragic that we're not going to get a chance to see that anymore.
Did he ever have a chance, Don? Did it ever come close that he could play for the Rangers or anything like that?
Well, there was talk about the Devils, because when he was a free agent, there was some speculation the Devils had some room and were talking to him. So I guess that's the closest he came, I think, playing for a local team. But Columbus came up with the 7-year contract that he signed. But that was as close, I think, him returning to the area. His 2 kids were born in Columbus. And just a gut-wrenching story. Sean Monahan, who played with him in Calgary, it was just 3 days ago they replayed the interview. I almost couldn't watch it. That he signed there because he was such good friends with Gaudreau and wanted to play with him and never got a chance to do that. Kevin Hayes, they went to school together, great friends at each other's weddings. Kevin lost his brother recently and now loses Johnny. Listen, all sports are a tight community, but hockey especially for American-born players, guys that went to college together. So, Michael, this affected just so many people beyond just his family, and just it's really difficult for anybody that knew him or anybody that followed him. It's just, God, it's just sick to my stomach this morning.